Hey guys, good morning. Happy coffee talk. Man, I feel like I've been up for hours and I think it's because I have. I woke up like at 4 something this morning. It's 8:30 right now, so I feel like I've got to jump on the day. My coffee this morning is in this really cool mug. I got this at the Annapolis Pottery, I think. It's like a very it's brown and tan, and it does look like the inside of a seashell. So I have a couple mugs that I reference as my seashell mugs, and this is one of them. And I'm still drinking that Cafe Soleil coffee that is medium good. It's fine. It's not great. And maybe you know what's wrong with it is that I always do fresh beans and then grind them myself. And this is pre-ground, and maybe that's my problem with it. So I want to give this coffee the benefit of the doubt. And I like to try to do that with people and with whatever and say that maybe it's good. I just shouldn't have got the ground version. So I want to celebrate a little bit of muscles and movement wins that are happening already. It's day one, past day one. Yesterday was day one. Today is day two of muscles and movement, and it's so much fun. And so if you didn't join, it's not too late because you actually get 10 days to do you actually get 14 days to do the 10-day challenge. So I'm going to keep reminding you about it for about 2 more days because you can still jump in and join us and catch up and make it in and complete the challenge. And so this is a consistency challenge for movement and exercise. And I teach you how to get consistent. I don't just give you the workouts. You get workouts, you get a community, you get all that good stuff, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. And so that's really the best part. So join us for Muscles and Movement Challenge in the Facebook group. I will put the links in all the places. So speaking of movement, I was just thinking, so I have this little robot on my desk. He's super cute. So if you're watching or if you're listening on the podcast, you're not going to get to see him, but he's like a little retro robot. He's blue and got red little circles as hands and a blocky head. If you're watching the video, you can see him. He's very cool. Anyways, and his feet are broken because I think Georgia knocked his feet off. I don't know. I think I got it at my sister's wedding a couple of years ago, and I love this guy. And he makes me laugh, and he's fun. That's really what he is. He's fun. And I like to keep him on my desk because he makes me smile and it gives me something to like fidget with my hands. But he makes me feel like a kid. And I enjoy things that make me feel like a kid, to be honest. Like it's pure and fun and silly. Because life can get really serious. And I'm sure you feel that. I'm sure you've got a lot on you, a lot of stresses, a lot of concerns, a lot of weight. And sometimes we just need things that make us smile, and that bring us joy, right? He's not solving problems in my life, this little robot, but he makes me smile, and that's a thing. And one of my favorite things, my favorite shifts that happened for me around exercise was when I went back to it being fun. So growing up, I loved sports. I mean, if there's I don't know, tomboy is still the right phrase or whatever, but I was 100% a tomboy. I mean, I was playing sports from the moment I could walk, and I love ball sports. And I also just loved games. I mean, I was the kid that at recess wanted to play whatever was happening. I didn't want to color, with sidewalk chalk. I wanted to play kickball or, dodgeball or you name it, whatever the game is, I wanted to play. Soccer, baseball, anything I was in. And it was fun. It was fun to move my body. It was fun to run. It was fun to play. It was fun to chase. It was fun to climb. I still love to climb trees, by the way. That's just something about me. I climb trees. If you put a tree in front of me that looks like worthy of climbing, I will climb it. I ripped my favorite sweatshirt climbing a tree in Colorado a couple months ago. But I loved it. I love climbing trees. And so all of those things are fun to me around movement. Well, when I got to be around 20 or so, 22, I remember being in the Navy. And in the Navy, so get this, I joined the Navy when I was 18, and they fit you for all your uniforms, and they forget that women's bodies change quite a bit from 18 to 22, and they tend to fill out a little bit. You have that little girl body, and then you fill out and you change, and everybody thinks that you're gaining weight, but you're just becoming an adult, right? So even if you don't gain weight, you're going to fill out your uniform differently. And so I remember thinking that my uniforms felt tight, after a year or two. And so you start to be aware of, I need to lose weight. And in the Navy, which was funny, they were actually feeding us food that was designed to feed 18 to 22-year-old men. And so it was extra calorie dense, all of those good things. And so it was very easy to put on weight. So as a woman, I remember for the first time being aware that I needed to fit in my uniform and I needed to, quote, lose weight. And so I would go stand in line at the Navy diet line. I'm not kidding you. And they would give you a boiled chicken breast that they pulled out of this huge silver pot. They would boil all these chicken breasts. So it was like had that gross film on top. Do you know what I'm talking about? So it would have the gross film on top. They'd pull you out a boiled chicken breast. They'd give you 2 or 3 hard boiled eggs. And then, I don't know, like a quart of soy milk. I'm not shitting you. This was the diet. And I learned, okay, well, now what? I need to work out, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? And I had not actually been familiar with working out for weight loss. I had just played sports, I just played. And so I remember going into the gym that they had, some machines, and they had these cardio machines. And I don't know who told me. Somebody told me that if you just do the elliptical machine, for an hour every day, then you would lose weight. So I'm like, okay, like let me get on the elliptical machine for an hour and I will lose weight. And I mean, that's one of the first things you're told, right? Cardio equals weight loss. So I get on there and I hate it. I hate this machine. If you love it, I love that you love it, but I didn't like it, And so I would get on this elliptical machine and go and be bored out of my mind and think to myself, how can I pass the time? And I would probably, who knows what we had back then, probably like a little, back in the day, the old, whatever, Apple pod situation for music, probably had that. Certainly, didn't have a smartphone I could just watch a show on, but I would try to entertain myself and pass the time. An iPod, that's what they're called, to pass my time on this elliptical machine, even though I hated it. And I remember exercise then became a chore. And I used to love running. I used to love running for sports. I would, chase a ball and all those things. But I remember thinking, okay, well, running now is for weight loss. And so I would get on the treadmill and I would run and I would listen to the, Serena Williams running soundtrack and just try to suffer through it. And so working out became this chore. It became this is what I must do to lose weight, to fit into my uniforms, to make weight or whatever. And all of a sudden, physical movement that was fun became not fun anymore. This is what I do to punish myself because I ate too much food. Exercise is what I do because I'm not good enough in the skin that I'm in. So I need to change that by punishing myself and making my body shrink so that it fits into the size that I'm supposed to be. And so that way I can get approval and good job from the people who are responsible for me. Good job, Christy. You fit in your uniform. Good job, Christy. You whatever. And again, that's not bad. I'm not saying it was bad to be encouraged to be at a healthy weight for my job in the Navy. That's important. I'm saying the bummer was that exercise that used to be fun, moving my body, challenging myself, used to be fun, became no fun. And that shift happened early in adulthood for me. And that shift stayed for probably a decade. For a decade, I then only understood exercise as, punishment or necessary, required, must do, no fun situation. And during that time period, I had about 10 knee surgeries. And so I also told myself stories like, well, you can't do soccer. You can't do a rec league for soccer because your knee is hurt. You're not going to be able to do fun things with your body anymore. Your knee is hurt. And I just started to take on this identity of hurt knee, fat body. Not kidding. And then exercise became, how can I get an unfat body so that I can be acceptable? So it wasn't taking care of myself. It was, how do I get out of this, And I had lost touch of that fun. I'd lost touch of the happiness and joy that came from using my body. So the reason I tell you that, and it's inspired by this little robot, is because part of creating a fit and healthy lifestyle for me was reclaiming that joy in using my body. I, at some point, and I think it was, the year that I made that physical transformation, I lost 40 or 45 pounds, fitness became fun. I remember going to boot camp class and thinking I wonder if I could hang from that monkey bars longer than I did the last time. I remember last time I could only do this much on deadlift. What about this much? And all of a sudden it became fun again because I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be more capable. I wanted to, be able to use my body. And then I found CrossFit, and CrossFit felt like a sport. CrossFit felt like a game to me. it made me feel joyful because I could learn to do new things. It made me feel alive because I could get better at them. There was a little bit of a competition built in, so that felt great. And all of a sudden, I stopped fixating on exercise being this thing to punish myself and became something that I got a benefit out of doing. Not only was the benefit good for my body because I got stronger, and yes, I burned body fat, and yes, I got to a healthy body weight. That was a key part, not just the only part. Remember, nutrition is a much bigger part of this equation, but it was key. But for me, for the lifestyle shift, finding joy in moving my body again was critical. And that translated not just from CrossFit, but into weightlifting. And even now, I try to pick things I enjoy. There's always going to be things about everything that doesn't feel perfectly happy all the time. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of days when you exercise and you feel like, I don't feel like it today. But for the most part, I've completely abandoned that mindset of I'm doing this to punish myself. That's gone. I'm doing this to become physically stronger, to become more capable, to be able to do things that I love to do, like hike or play, or be physically strong enough to do things like pull-ups or move a heavy barbell, things that just feel fun. And so even on the days that don't feel fun, I just remind myself, you're doing this because you want your body to be able to do things you really do love to do. And this is probably necessary, especially some of the rehab stuff I have to do for my knee. It's not always fun, but I just remind myself, hey, if you do this, you're going to be able to hike further. Hey, if you do this one day, you're going to be stronger and able to lift that heavier barbell. So I just remind myself that that's what it's for. It's not for punishing myself. And because of that shift, exercise and movement became more sustainable. And so what I'm challenging you to do is, one, let go of the mindset that exercise and movement is the reason to do it is to punish yourself or perpetually to lose weight. Because again, those can, the byproduct of losing weight will happen when you start to exercise and eat better and start to get stronger and take care of yourself. That is going to be a byproduct. But if that is the main driver for exercise, then you're going to burn out. And if the main driver for exercise is because you don't like yourself, that's not sustainable either. That's not coming from a place where you're going to keep that up. You may get away with it for a little while, but that's not the life you want. So if you're like, well, Christy, I don't like sports. I'm not like you. I didn't play sports. I bet there's something that you enjoy. Maybe it's dance. Maybe it's music. So you need to find exercise or movement that has music in it. Maybe you love lifting weights. Well, let's start there. You want to be strong? Let's start there. Why on the earth would you be on the elliptical machine if you're excited about getting strong? Get off that stupid machine and get into something that you like doing. Especially if you're just getting started, you need to go with something that is easy and accessible for you so that you can create the consistency. And then from there, you can challenge yourself more with the things I was talking about where you're saying yeah, I'm doing this because I love the other thing, Maybe it's hiking. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't even want to be in the gym. I just want to be outside. Perfect. Start with that. Pick some small hikes and start working towards it. And again, it's going to translate into how do I make my body physically stronger so that I can do more of the stuff that I enjoy. Whatever it is, some kind of activity where you are using your body with something that feels good, brings you joy. Bonus points if it makes you feel like a kid. I'm telling you, this is something that we should think about and look for in our life. If we can find that unfiltered joy that we did as a kid when we weren't self-conscious in our skin and we could just play and somehow tap into that into our adult life, then we are creating a happier and more joyful adult life. And the only barrier is, are we allowing ourselves to go there? If you love playing tennis as a kid, bring back tennis. Why can't you? Why can't you bring back tennis? You can. You can choose how to move your body and challenge your body and then do things that support that life that you want to live. And so, yeah, when you're doing bicep curls and you're like, why am I doing this? It's because I love tennis and my arms are going to get stronger. I need my elbows to work the way they're supposed to work. It just becomes a thing that's no longer about punishment and more about accessing the life that you want. And some of that comes from just tapping into that childhood joy. And I picked up my little baby robot because it makes me smile. And exercise that is sustainable should not feel like torture. It's not about that. You deserve more than that. And so hopefully this coffee talk message was helpful for you. This has been something I've been thinking about a lot, and I hope that it translates into your life. I want you to search for joy in your movement and exercise. I want you to find a way to tap into that and then build off of it. Let it be easy first. Let it be fun. And then once it gets fun and consistent, well, then guess what? All the other stuff's going to come along with it. And you know what? Your body will change as a byproduct of you choosing intentionally to do something for a different reason and be consistent about it. That weight loss is going to happen. That strength is going to happen. Those energy levels are going to happen because you will have chosen exercise and movement that you don't hate, that you're not doing to punish yourself, that you're willing to do consistently, and that you're willing to do other things in support of that. That's just how you build. And then if you start to tackle the nutrition, all of a sudden you're in business. So in the Muscles and Movement Challenge, I hope that everybody who's doing it finds joy in some piece of it and knows that that helps create sustainable change. So thanks for plugging into Coffee Talk. If you haven't done so, subscribe to Fit Me Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're not a part of our Facebook group yet, then come on over to Facebook, search Fit Me Community, request to join the group. I will add you there. That is where all of these fun games are happening every single month. So this month is Muscles and Movement. Next month is going to be something else. And I would love to have you be a part of it. And so join us in the Fit Me Community Facebook group to get started making some of these diet-free sustainable changes that work in your real life. So I'll see you there. Take care. Bye.